अथ पंचमो अध्यायः
कर्म संन्यासा योगा।
अर्जुन उवाच संन्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च संससि यच्छ्रेय एतयोरेकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्।
Said Arjuna, on the one hand you praise renunciation of action and on other you commend the yoga of action. Please tell me clearly which of the two is better.
श्रीभगवानुवाच संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसंन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते।
Said the Supreme Lord, both the yoga of action and the renunciation of action are good for liberation. But of the two, the yoga of action is superior.
अज्ञेयः स नित्यसंन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते।
O mighty armed, he who neither hates nor desires should be known as the real sannyasi, the renouncer of desire-ridden actions. Such a person, free from the sense of dualities, is happily and completely liberated from all bondage.
सांख्ययोगौ पृथग्बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यगुभयोर्विन्दते फलम्।
Ignorant people say that the yoga of knowledge and the yoga of action are different. But the learned ones do not say so. By achieving mastery in either of the two, one can attain the fruit of both.
यत्साङ्ख्यैः प्राप्यते स्थानं तद्योगैरपि गम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति।
The state that can be achieved by following the yoga of knowledge can also be achieved by following the yoga of action. He who sees both these yogas as one really sees.
संन्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्म न चिरेणाधिगच्छति।
O mighty armed, renunciation without karma yoga attracts sorrow. But he who practices renunciation established properly in karma yoga soon attains Brahman.
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते।
The qualified karma yogi, who is pure in his heart and conquered his mind and his senses, sees his self in all selves and remains free even though engaged in action.
नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् नश्नन् गच्छन् स्वप्नश्वसन् प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन्नुन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्।
The knower of truth who is established in the yoga thinks, I am not doing anything at all, while seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, walking, dreaming and breathing, and while speaking, releasing, grasping, opening and closing of eyes, believes that only his senses are occupied with sense objects.
ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा।
He who acts, offering all his actions to Brahman, giving up all attachment, is never touched by sin, like the lotus leaf which is untouched by water.
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये।
The karma yogis perform their actions for the sake of self-purification, using only their bodies, minds, intelligence and senses, giving up all attachment.
युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते।
By renouncing the fruit of his actions, the karma yogi attains the transcendental state of peaceful of mind. But he who works with an intent to enjoy the fruit of his actions, attached thus, becomes entangled in worldly life.
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा संयस्यास्ते सुखं वसि नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्.
By renouncing mentally all his actions, the self-controlled karma yogi lives happily in the city of 9 gates. The body, neither doing anything nor making other do anything.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
The Supreme Lord of the world does not create neither the doership nor the doings in this world, nor attachment to the fruits of actions. These things happen because of nature only.
नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापं न चैव सुकृतं विभुः अज्ञानेनावृतम् अज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः.
Nor does the Supreme Lord takes upon himself anyone's good or bad deeds. By ignorance is enveloped knowledge, and by this mortals are deluded.
अज्ञानेन तु तज्ज्ञानं येषां नासितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्.
But those who destroy their ignorance by means of knowledge, their knowledge illuminates and reveals the Supreme Lord the way Aditya, the sun god, illuminates the world.
तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानस्तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिम् अज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः.
Those whose intelligence and mind are established in the Supreme, with strong determination and exclusively devoted to Him, go to the world of immortality, cleansed of all their impurities by knowledge.
विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गवि हस्तिनि सुनि चैव स्वपाके च पंडिताः समदर्शिनः.
The wise look upon equally a Brahman who is endowed with the wealth of knowledge and humility, a cow, an elephant, a dog, or even an outcast.
इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गो येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः.
In this very world do they conquer the life of mortality whose minds are established in equanimity. Since they are flawless like Brahman, they are already established in Brahman.
न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढो ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः.
The man of stable of mind, undeluded, knower of Brahman, being established in Brahman, neither rejoices when he achieves what is pleasant nor worries when he gets unpleasant things.
बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत् सुखं स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते.
He who is disinterested in external sense objects and finds happiness in himself, such a yogi, his mind firmly established in Brahman, enjoys unlimited bliss.
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः.
O son of Kunti, the pleasures that are born out of sensory contacts are sources of pain. They certainly are transient, having a beginning and an end. The intelligent man is wise enough not to indulge in them.
शक्नोतीहैव यः सोढुं प्राक्शरीरविमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः.
He who succeeds in his present life in controlling the rushing force of his desires and anger, before giving up his body, he is well established in yoga and is a happy human being.
यो त्वं तः सुखो त्वं तरारामस्तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मभूतो उद्दिगच्छति.
He who is inwardly happy, who enjoys within himself, whose inner light is lit up, that mystic attains union with Brahman and becomes the Supreme Self.
लभन्ते ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृषयः क्षीणकल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधा यतात्मानः सर्वभूतहिते रताः.
Those who are inwardly active, whose sins have diminished, who have overcome the sense of duality, whose minds are firmly established in self-realization, and who are engaged in the welfare of all beings in the world, achieve union with Supreme Brahman.
कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते विदितात्मनाम्.
Freed from lust and anger, practicing self-restraint, they who have realized their inner selves, union with Brahman is a constant experience.
स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यांश्चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिर्मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधो यः सदा मुक्त एव सः.
Shutting out all external objects, concentrating his inner gaze between the two eyebrows, controlling his inward and outward breaths, restraining his mind, senses and intelligence, having left behind desires, fear and anger, the sage is forever liberated.
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानाम् अज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति.
Knowing me as the beneficiary of all sacrifices, penances and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all the worlds and friend and well-wisher of all living entities, he attains peace.
ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे कर्मसंन्यासयोगो नाम पंचमो अध्यायः.
Thus ends the 5th chapter named Karma Sanyasa Yoga, or the Yoga of Renunciation of Action in A. Upanishad of the Divine Bhagavad-gita, the knowledge of the Absolute, the yogic scripture, and the debate between Arjuna and Lord Krishna.